Understanding the current state of play is a crucial first step to improving the care you provide in the future. So it's really helpful for your NELA improvement team to take time to understand the pathway your laparotomy patients take. Our systems can be complex, and it's hard to know where to start with improvements if we don't try to simplify things in some way first. We can do this very nicely through something called a driver diagram. The driver diagram is a pictorial display of our system. What we're trying to show is the factors that contribute to our outcome. So we start with an aim. In our case, this could be improving mortality or length of stay for emergency laparotomy patients. That aim is driven by what we call primary drivers. These are a small set of headline factors that cause our outcome to occur. In our case, that could be timely access to diagnosis, high quality treatment, and the correct dependency level for post-operative care. The primary drivers themselves are influenced by secondary drivers. So for example, the primary driver, timely access to diagnosis, might be driven by access to CT scanning and early senior decision making. High quality treatment might be driven by timely access to theatres and consultant delivered care, and so on. One of the things that the driver diagram allows you to do is identify measures that relate to each of these drivers. You'll notice the drivers I've mentioned are all part of the NELA dataset. So, we have an illustrated theory here that improving any of our secondary drivers will improve our primary drivers, and ultimately improve our outcome. And we have measures in place to monitor that. You can make your own driver diagram for laparotomy care in your trust, as your drivers may be different from mine. With each secondary driver that you define, you should be able to think of some improvement ideas that relate to that driver. You can also use a visual tool called a process map to understand the emergency laparotomy pathway. This is a graphical representation, but this time of the process in chronological order. It may be the patient pathway, starting with arrival into the ED, and then each step of seeing a doctor, being referred to surgery, booked for theatre, and so on. Lots of NELA teams are making these, and there are a few examples of pathway documents shared on the NELA website. Or you could make a map of a smaller process that you want to look at in detail, such as booking an emergency theatre case. When you're mapping out your process, it's important to get a range of views: seniors and juniors, surgeons, theatre staff, ED, and of course getting the patients to contribute to what the pathway actually looks like, rather than what you think it looks like. This is very helpful. You can map it out in a group meeting, or if that's too tricky to get everyone together, maybe map it out with a few of you and then share it with everyone else for comments. After drawing your process map, it's helpful to observe the process a few times and make sure the map accurately represents it. You should also think about which steps in the pathway have NELA measures attached, for example, timing of senior reviews or access to theatre. Then you can look for specific areas where you can improve the pathway by making it more reliable, or redesigning it to eliminate steps that don't add any value to patient care, or making the current pathway more efficient to reduce delays. Of course, delivering reliably excellent care for laparotomy patients takes more than creating a process map or a driver diagram. But understanding the system is an important early step. Good luck with these tools, and thank you from the NELA project team for all your hard work on NELA and improving emergency laparotomy care.